200-year modern railway.
Give us a blast.
If this is your kind of thing.
Yeah, UK 24. Time's down there. Date today is the 1st of January.
Then today.
Wait, this morning, guys, 2024.
Absolutely.
Wow, cool, super.
Today, the UK's oldest railway will join stations all over the country in a whistle.
Wow, cool, man.
We want everyone to join in the Railway 200 whistle up.
200-year modern. They were in line. UK. Wicked. It's D train.
A cacophony of sound, a fanfare of fun for people to blow whistles, ring bells, and join in what's the start of a 200-year anniversary.
He loves it.
In 1825, George Stephenson's steam-powered locomotion number 1 carried hundreds of passengers 26 miles between Chiltern, Darlington and Stockton. And over the following 200 years, the evolution of the modern railway would change the world forever.
It's fantastic because this is celebrating a snapshot in time when railways became something that revolutionised the country, whether it was moving passengers or goods, and it's now something that's an international phenomenon. Railways revolutionised food, travel, time, gives us newspapers on the table, you know, food,
used to.
fish and chips.
They don't any longer.
The railway encapsulates all of it.
They got rid of the self-service train service on South West Railways ages ago. About a year ago or two, after COVID.
Railways, you know.
Unfortunately.
Bang on cue. Hey, that's lovely, isn't it? Living it.
Wow.
But the romance of steam is hard to beat, and it's celebrated in full force here in Tanfield.
Wow.
Oh, it's fascinating.
I've driven a steam engine. I've got 9 videos from a year ago or so, the Walkers line. I'm not joking. I am a steam train driver. I can drive a steam engine. It's easy. Easier than it looks.
100 years before Stephenson used locomotives.
And there we go.
You've got the regulator, you've got the valve.
It's a little bit different how you see it today.
You're also your driver, well, a fireman as well to hold the coal and fire while you're driving it.
You've got your iPhone, where really kind of phone technology took off, but there was a lot of development before that when, you know, you started off with a brick. And we're kind of the brick,
You're
really.
the brick.
And you said it, my friend.
So 2025 is the 200th anniversary of the modern railway and the 300th anniversary of its forerunner here in Tanfield.
Wow.
Noisy.
For Irene and Bob, it is intoxicating.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
That's amazing,
I've been
alright.
told you are a bit of a steam anorak. Yeah, I do like steam trains. To the Glacier Express.
Cool, wicked.
Left in Chattanooga. I had my vows renewed on a train track.
Really? Blimey. Wow.
So I've rang Kitty Jones as well. That is commitment. Yeah. Not
This-
as good as Tanfield.
Please subscribe to my channel, Sign Age Evans.
But 200 years after the birth of the modern railway, the government says the system is failing passengers, with cancellations
Yeah.
at a 10-year high and networks which have been mired in industrial action.
It's not
The
been great
government
fun.
believes the answer lies back in public ownership.
That's what they
The
try.
question is though, Barry, 200 years later, are trains any better?
Not as good as steam. Still love steam.
Railway 200 plans a year of special events,
Cool, wicked.
but it starts today at noon, so grab a whistle or a bell and head to a station near you. Jane McCubbin, BBC News.
Can we put that there? Can't do that big.
And they're all having a lovely time.
I don't think the trains are running today on our way, no.
Rail
Oh,
enthusiast
oh,
and
that-
author Simon
doing
Bradley. Morning
engineering
and
works.
Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Wow.
So we watched that piece earlier and we were thinking, what defines the modern railway? Because trains predate 200 years.
That's right, yeah, railways go back much further, but 200 years is the anniversary of the Stockton and Darlington, which was the world's first public railway using locomotives.
Okay, and
Wow.
from there it snowballed into public being able to access them and revolutionise business and life, I
My
suppose.
friend James Ascot, I hope you like this video.
Lines initially, but quite soon you can see something like the network emerging.
These are such fabulous pictures that we've seen there in Jane's piece.
Give me a thumbs up on the right side of the screen.
People, I'm sure, are loving watching them at home. But what is it for you, Simon? What do you love about the railways? What do you feel and think when you see these pictures?
Well, there's a lot going on with the railways. If you're an enthusiast, and I'm one, then you immediately lock onto the locomotives and think about what types, what kinds, what history they had. But also if you're a historian, and I'm a historian too, then you're thinking about their impact, you're thinking about their role in...
The Virgin Tilt train at one point.
You're looking at their infrastructure, their buildings, you're remembering the stories and the very diverse personalities and communities who are behind their creation.
Do you know what I think of when I think of the railways? I think they can be the best of times and they can be the absolute worst of times.
Especially in the north parts of the UK.
Trains, isn't it?
In Manchester.
Day. You can have a lovely, relaxing rural journey.
By South West Railways.
Brilliant buffet.
Class 4-4.
You can be sitting on the floor with no access to water.
Yeah, everyone...
There's Dirty Diesel, Exton Davis train.
Rail will have their good days and they'll have their bad days, and bad days can be bad, but the good days...
There's Diesel again.
Guaranteed good day on the railways.
That's Greatley, that was straight train station.
There are wonderful train journeys though, aren't they? It's hit and miss is the problem.
I travelled on the train last year.
I'm writing this down.
Down to London Waterloo.
Yeah,
And from there, that's from Woking to London Waterloo.
Built through the Pennines up to Carlisle from Yorkshire. Wildly scenic, extremely ambitious in terms of its engineering, very well preserved in terms of its stations and other buildings, and recommended to all, really.
Decent buffet car.
And then from London Waterloo up to Weymouth, and then back to...
I haven't been for a while, so
bring a picnic.
to check that.
Have you ever done Devon?
London, Waterloo, and then from Waterloo down to Portsmouth Southsea, and then on to Portsmouth Harbour, and then back
Though, is it time to think about the future?
by Eastleigh, Bopley, and on the way up to Woking, and to London Waterloo.
Financially affecting,
And then back to Woking in one day, 14.5-hour train journey. How about that?
Decades ahead.
Well, there's more electrification coming. There are changes afoot to the organisation of the railways, which we've yet to see quite how those are going to pan out.
The ownership, yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
By the government.
The infrastructure of the railways
Go to public hands.
Publicly owned. So when people talk about the rail being nationalised, then they sometimes forget that that was sold off as an entity in the 90s, but then back to public ownership not very long afterwards, because it didn't work very well as a private company. But the operations of the railways, the separate railway operating companies, are going to come back into public ownership. That's true.
There we go.
Because you can't overstate, can you? I'm just thinking about the Metrolink tramways that have come about here in the last 20 years in Greater Manchester, the extent to which they can revolutionise entire communities.
Yes, and I travelled on the tram yesterday getting to Salford, and it's really impressive to see how sort of frictionless the works now, and Manchester was the pioneer there.
It was interesting. I was coming into Piccadilly a few weeks ago in Manchester, and there were a load of young people there to see the trains. What we used to probably still call train spotters. There's still an awful lot of enthusiasm among young people who might not use them terribly often, but they still love the romance, the history of the train work.
Yes, and train spotting, as I practiced it in the 70s, is a bit of a niche activity now, having been a mass activity if you go back to the later days of steam. But there's a lot of other interests in the railways. You don't have to be a number taker in their operation, and as I always say, in their history and in what you can see of...
I do like my steam trains though, a lot.
Will you be grabbing a whistle and a bell today to celebrate?
Well, I'll be on the train going back south.
That's the perfect place!
Yeah, I'll be looking around for a whistle.
Let's hope it runs on time. Thank you, Simon.
Simon Bradley, lovely to have you. Thank you.
That's my name, Simon H. Evans. Simon Bradley.
Let's do it.
There you go, guys.
It's
Please subscribe to Simon Evans. This is my friend Sparky and Jim Betty Friday, free to IPN Friday thing, Surrey Hills Radio Friday. And it's my friend Shane, live listening every Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Surrey Hills Radio Friday. And it's my friend John on Lara Show every Sunday at 9 to 12 and live on the Woking Show. Lara Show. Please question on Simon H. Evans. Smile, baby. It's a New Year's Day, 1st of January 2025. Happy days. Yeah.